YouTube, it's Michael from Asymmetrical Preparedness. Today's video is on bug out bags and what you have in them and analyzing them, I guess. So hopefully you are using them and practicing with them, because if you are, you will learn a lot. You will learn what you need, what you don't need, what kind of weight is reasonable for you to carry. So yeah, I hope first off you're using them. Second off, analyze the contents. What do you actually need? Do you need, how many days of food do you need? What is your bug out plan? How far do you need to go? If you're bugging out for your bug out location's 2 weeks walk away, well then a bug out bag is probably not going to do you any good. You're going to have, if you're on foot, a hand cart to pull behind you, maybe a bicycle with bags, or a wheelbarrow, or something, even those little kid carriers I see that hook onto bicycles that you could throw stuff in, or a wagon, or something else to carry supplies. And bugging out that far on foot is not a good idea in the first place. Bugging out is not an optimum situation in the first place. Staying put is better because you're not encountering all the variables that you'll have during a bug out, depending on if it's with rule of law or without rule of law. If you have a heads up and you're able to start bugging out prior to, well then you don't have to worry about doing it on foot anyway, or your bug out bag. You can load up all your stuff, drive to your bug out location nice and easy, and get there prior to the total collapse, or without rule of law scenario. But if you have to bug out, you got to look at your bug out bag. Okay, what are some things you need? I will be going over my bug out bag and showing you guys, but I don't need my bug out bag sitting in front of me to talk about them. What do you need? Okay, you need enough calories to support your life during that time frame. Can you go lower on the calories? Understanding, yeah, you're going to lose some weight. Maybe. But what are some good options? MREs are really good options. Daytrix rations, SOS rations, I forget there's a bunch of other brands out there, those ration bars that are shortbread cookies, kind of those are really good, but they're heavy and they require water because it'll make you thirsty. Because and the SOS bars I've found are the ones that make you the least thirsty, taste the best, price, all this stuff. So basically all the research I've done, taste tests, all the prices and stuff like that, SOS bars are, from what I've found, to be the best overall. They have one of the best tastes, if not the best. I'm not going to go into that. Anyway, SOS bars are really good. I've shown in some of my videos the bags, they're kind of like an MRE bag. Well, not like an MRE bag, but they're a bag with beans and rice, or I've seen what are they, like palak paneer, or garam masala, or stuff like that. Indian food. If you like Indian food, I love Indian food, love curry. But if you like that stuff, great. There's options like that. Plus, there's a bunch of different options. There's bags of, you can get the little bags of tuna, or chicken, or different things like that. I wouldn't do the canned goods, like canned meats or canned fruits or vegetables, so much because of the weight. But anyway, yeah, food. So you need to have enough calories. Water. You need to have enough water. But you should also be analyzing your bug out routes, your alternate route, your secondary route, your tertiary route, all the different routes that you have to get to your bug out location. Your rally points along the way should be situated, hopefully, somewhere where there's water, so you can replenish water. Because odds are you're not going to be able to carry enough water. Water is very heavy, very bulky, stuff like that. So you need a plan to replenish your water en route. So please plan your bug out routes so that you can replenish your water. Other things are good quality wool socks. Have an extra pair or two. You look a little crooked. There you go. I think that's a little bit better. Anyway, good quality wool socks, like merino wool socks. Have an extra pair at least, maybe two. They don't take up much room. They don't weigh much. Do you need an extra pair of boots? In just a bug out bag, I would say no. I would say if you have a long-term patrol bag or something, like a big bag that you're going to be humping long distances, first of all, you better be in shape to do that. But you may want to have an extra pair of boots. But I don't think it's necessary in a bug out bag. So what are some other things? Bugging out also, I'm thinking that you're not really going to be lighting fires. I don't plan on lighting fires during my bug out unless I have to. If it's like a heat source and I have to have heat source, stuff like that. But not for cooking food, just because you're gonna, it's too high of a signature. You're gonna produce too high of a signature. The smell, the all that stuff, the light. You need to have light discipline, smell discipline, shine discipline, all this stuff. Because when you're bugging out, you don't want to be found, because it's going to be in a bad situation. So I don't think you want to be cooking food. You're going to want to have means to start fires for heat and warmth if you have to. If you're in an environment that dictates that, you need to have that. If you are somewhere where it never really gets cold enough, great. Then you don't have to worry about that as much. I would still say have some. You know, a couple lighters wrapped in duct tape, of course, you know, the go-to, because duct tape can be used for anything. Okay, so source for fire. Enough said on that. I don't want to drone on. Cordage, 550 cord. How much? I don't know. That's personal. You can have, you know, 100 feet. Should be good enough. Pretty much what you're going to use it for is, and this is very dependent on your environment, where you live, where you're bugging out, stuff like that. Like where I'm thinking about me and where I am. So my bug out system is predominantly set up because I can't walk far enough to get out of the kind of environment that I'm in. It doesn't change that much in my reasonable walking distance. And I have trees everywhere. Everywhere you see in the background, see trees, trees, trees. It's all trees everywhere you look. So I do the hammock and tarp tent camping, basically. String a ridge line, throw your tarp over it, tie it down really nice, hook your hammock up. Bam, there you go. Shelter. So with that said, you need enough cordage to be able to tie up whatever you have. Your tent, your hammock, your tarp, you know, whatever you're using for shelter. And then also just cordage is good to have tie things onto your pack. You can use some situation, use it for snares, for trapping, stuff like that. I'm not an expert on that. I know a little bit about it. I could probably fudge my way through and maybe catch some of my own calories, but I'm not a master. You know, not like Canterbury. That dude, you know, yeah, he rocks. But anyway, so cordage is really important. Knife, definitely. Multi-tool, something like that, it's good to have. If you just want to pick one, throw on a good multi-tool, because it has a knife on it, it has a bunch of other tools on it. That's really good to have in a bug-out bag. So you got food, you got a way to cook it if you shouldn't really do it. You need to have things that are pre-cooked that you can just eat. But to keep you warm, you have, let me see, I went over cordage, shelter. Okay, so tarp and a hammock, or a tent, or a tarp to do a lean-to shelter, or whatever it is. Or you could do a little pup tent type thing with a ridge line and, you know, tied to the ground and your sleeping bag underneath it. And if you get a big enough tent, you can wrap it around and use that as your ground tarp. Use it as your ground tarp, then have it go up and over and then back down. So it'll go like this. So it'll help keep the water out also. And that's a whole different topic. The way you set up your camp, the way you set up your sleep system, and to mitigate, you know, water running through your setup if it's raining or really wet out. Okay, a way to sharpen your knife. Do you need that? No. Seriously? If you wear out a knife during your bug out, then your bug out's too long. So don't worry about that. Clothes, extra clothes. Yes. And depending on the time of year, you need to tailor your bug out bag for your time of year and keep it updated. Go through it regularly. Go through it like every month or two and update it. Pull out what you don't need anymore, put in what you do need anymore. You know, like it's getting wintertime, so I added some extra base layer, and being here in the Pacific Northwest, I always have a full set of Gore-Tex in mind. You know, I have a Gore-Tex, an old, I think it's an M85 field jacket from the military, woodland camouflage Gore-Tex, as well as pants. Gaiters to go over your boots to protect water. You can have those. I have some of those in my bug bag because it's really wet around here. A beanie, fleece, you know, things to keep you warm. Yes. Do you need a bunch of extra camouflage gear and tactical gear? No. No, don't worry about that. This isn't a tactical combat op. This is a bug out. You're trying to get somewhere. Wear subdued clothing. Yeah, sure. Natural earth tones. Great. Or if you're bugging out in the city, that's a different situation because, I mean, people are going to look at you anyway because you have a backpack on. So that automatically almost eliminates you from being gray man. But if you want to try, you know, a little bit more of a gray approach, sure, fine. You can do that. Other things, headgear. You know, I shave my head, so my heat escapes to my head more. So I think of things like beanies and ball caps and stuff. Ways to keep the sun off of you if you're bugging out in the summertime. Sunscreen, you may want to think about. Do you need things like sewing kits and fishing kits and stuff like that, like those like survival kits? No, you don't, because you're not going to be going that long. Oh, you should be getting to your bug out location where you have all your stuff you need pre-staged, or you have caches along the way. Okay, that's a good thing. That's where you can cache water also at your rally points. Have pre-staged caches so you don't. So that's your replenishment. If there's no other sources of replenishment, or no reliable sources of replenishment. So yeah, don't need that kind of stuff. Let me see. See, you don't need a lot of stuff in there. So compass, maps of your AO and surrounding areas. Don't write in your maps, because if you get captured or you lose your pack or something like that, you get a ditch, then the locations of everything is compromised. And then whoever finds your stuff will go get your other stuff. And then you'll be in for a big fight once you get to your bug out location because it'll be occupied. Or worse, it'll be gone, whatever. So good quality pack. You don't want it falling apart while you're doing the things. So yeah, map, compass, fire starting cordage, knife. You may want to have a good, I would have a good fixed blade in there also. And some of these things, you know, you may have, like, if part of your setup is you're going to take your battle belt with you also, you may have some things like a fixed blade on it. Okay, so redundancy. I mean, you don't need to have as much redundancy. Throw in a little Mora fixed blade knife, cheap, $15, Mora companion. Throw it in there. I used mine during my bug out drill. I got a couple little nicks in the blade, but I was really hard on it. I used it for everything. So yeah, it's super lightweight, inexpensive. Throw one in there. Flashlight, yes, source of light. Headlamp, something like that. Headlamps are really good because it frees up your hands. Have different colored red lenses. At least get a red lens or some red tape, clear tape, obviously, that will shine through. You can get at auto parts stores for people who repair your headlights or your tail lights with. Get some of that, have it wrapped around a lighter, and then you can cut off a little piece, put it on your headlamp if you need to keep down your light signature, and so it won't ruin your night vision. Let me see, gloves. Gloves are a good one. I have gloves in my battle belt. Let's say I don't have it. Have a pair of gloves in your setup somewhere, whatever your bug out setup is. Sunglasses if it's really, really bright out, or you're in an Arctic environment and the sun, is glaring off all that white. It makes it super bright. You got to protect those eyes. What are some other things? If you want, have some extra ammo in there. That wouldn't hurt. An extra mag or two of AR ammo. If that's your gun that you're gonna have with you bugging out, or your AK, whatever it is, your handgun, throw in a couple extra mags, loaded. Whenever I talk about extra mags should always be loaded. Period. That whole myth about keeping them loaded will wear out the spring over time. And the spring set and all that stuff like that, don't worry about that. Spring set, yes, it could happen. But I'll tell you what wears out metal. Okay, metal, like if you take metal and you bend it like that and it just sits there, is that going to wear out? Or is it the constant bending? You've ever bent, metal or plastic or anything, cardboard, the more you bend it, the weaker it gets at this point, and it's going to break. Okay, so loading and unloading your mags all the time is going to cause your springs to break. So don't believe that myth. There's so many myths out there, people. Load your mags, keep them loaded. I've shot mags that have been loaded for 10 plus years, no issues at all. Okay, if you have good quality mags, good quality springs, some people prefer aluminum mags. There's different brands, good quality ones, yes. I just prefer Magpul P-Mags. I have a source, I can get them for $9 or under a piece. I mean, come on, $9 for a mag, that's dirt cheap. That's for the 30 rounders. 40 rounders that I love are 14, 15-ish bucks. So yeah, have a little bit of extra ammo. I know I'm forgetting some things here. That's why it does help to do this with your bug out bag sitting in front of you. But I'll do that later so you can see the things also. Oh, water filter. Sawyer Mini. Perfect, good water filter. I've heard the Life Straws are improved. But I just like the Sawyer Mini because it's back flushable, and so a Life Straw, once it's done and it's clogged and it's full, it's just done. You throw it away. And the Sawyer Mini costs the same amount, about 20 bucks, as a Life Straw. So why not go with the Sawyer Mini? I think they're just as effective. I think the Sawyer Mini is actually better anyway. It's better quality. It does a better job. It lasts longer. It's the same price. No brainer there. I know I'm forgetting things. Throw in a shemagh. If you don't know what they are, look them up. It's like a big bandana. It's Middle Eastern. They are great. Always have one in my gear. Just because they're so useful for so many different situations. You can use them for, slinging your arm if it's broken or hurt. You can use them for tourniquets. You can use them as head wraps to keep your sun off of you, like I did at my cabin trip. Keep the sun off your neck. You can wrap them around your face if it's cold out, or it's dusty, or it's, whatever. There's just so many uses for shemaghs. Use it as a scarf. Use it as a belt. Use it as an improvised shelter. Roll it up. Use it as a pillow. I mean, there's just infinite number of uses for shemaghs. Please pick yourself up some shemaghs. Earth tones. Don't get the pink ones, or the bright colored ones, okay? Think tactical. Think realistic. Use them all the time. Hiking, camping, fishing, doing your things, bugging out. I use them all the time. I bet my neighbors sometimes drive by, and because our common road, there's only a couple of houses on my street. We all have acreage and stuff like that. But depending on where I'm standing on my property, people driving up there to their houses can see me. And sometimes I'm standing out there in a shemagh, doing their wrap. And I bet they're like, whoa, what's that dude? I got the full beard on. It was summertime, I got my tan going on. So it's very easy for me to, be perceived as a Middle Eastern male of combative age. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. But anyway, so, gun cleaning kit. You should have a bore snake on your rifle or on your kit also, as well as cleaning rods. I have on my rifle to punch out a round stuck in the bore or in the barrel. Those are some of the things you got to think of. But predominantly, you're thinking of walking too. You're not thinking of fighting too. That's totally a different topic. So I think I hit on most things. I'm sure I'm missing some things, but the idea is look through your bug out bag, keep it seasonalized, meaning what is appropriate for the season, what you're going to need, keep it updated, go through, take out what you don't need. You don't need a bunch of superfluous stuff, as light as possible. If you get everything you need in there and it only weighs 30 pounds, great, because you're going to be able to move quicker, move more effectively, and stuff like that. And these things I'm talking about, if you go to places like REI or different outfitter backpacking stores and you want to get, you can afford and want to get or invest the money into good quality stuff, you can get stuff made for backpacking that is ultra lightweight yet high quality. So instead of having these heavier things that are less expensive in your packs, you can replace them with, yes, they're more expensive, but they're good quality, but they're lighter weight. Ounces equal pounds, pounds equal pain. If you've ever carried heavy weights like backpack and stuff like that for long distances, people in the military, backpackers, outfitters, long range, professional hunters, stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. So, analyze your bug out bag. Take out what you don't need, put in what you do, and think about your situation, your environment specific. I can't cover everything you're going to need because I don't know. I don't live in your environment. I don't live where you live. If you live in snake territory, you may want a snake bite kit or anti-venom or whatever it is you have. Around where I live, there are no poisonous snakes. There just aren't. There's no danger. Where I live, actually, here, if I go up in the Olympic Mountains, Cascade Mountains, and the Rockies, that's a little bit different. But if I go in the Olympics, I could run around buck naked in the forest. There's no dangers. There's no threats. There's no poisonous snakes. Yeah, there's spiders, but there's no poison ivy. There's no poison oak. There's wasps and bees maybe, but literally there's no threats. There's black bears, which are not aggressive. They can be, but they're generally not aggressive. There are cougars. Up in my cabin, we call them mountain lions because it's up in the mountains. Same thing, cougars, mountain lions. It just depends on where they are. But, so don't take what you don't need and tailor things to your environment. So I hope I didn't drone on and put a bunch of fluff, like somebody commented and they like the fact that I don't do fluff. I really try not to do fluff. Sometimes I kind of go off and get these side tangents, but I'm trying to stick to the point, put out good quality content. So if you like the videos, please subscribe, hit the like button, do the things, share the videos. Prep out of peace of mind, not out of fear, people. Remember that. Don't do fear porn. Don't do doomer porn. The world is not ending tomorrow. Do your best. Prep a little bit every day. Get your fitness in. Get your workouts in. Get your walks in. Push-ups, sit-ups, crunches, leg lifts, squats. All those things are free. And everything is going to be more physical in SHTF scenario. So fitness is key. Please, 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 please. And training, training, training. Love you guys, and blessings to you and yours.